So let's look at what we have to do to make it guess incorrectly. Let's say the test size is half of the data. So we're only letting it train on 75 and test on 75. So let's rerun that. 75 and 75. Let's train the model. There's the classification report. So training on half of the data and testing on half the data, it's still getting it right. Let's let it test on, let's actually go 0.8. So now we're training on only 30 records to train the dog, and then the other 120 to test the dog. So if I go back to this, we're finally below 1.0. With only 20% for training, it's still getting 97% accuracy. Now, if you get that on a test, you're probably doing a happy dance. For machine learning, that's pretty low. It's not great. But considering how many we got it to do, it's basically, it messed up one of these. So one versicolor was miscalculated as something else, and one virginica was, or two of these were calculated as something else. So now we want to look at the confusion matrix, because that's interesting. Oh, it's 1 and 3. Okay. So one of the 3 of these, the computer thought was this. One of this, the computer thought was this. So it's flipping, it's confusing these two, and it's getting all of these right. So now you can see exactly where the computer's getting it wrong. And, if I want to go really low, let's say I use 90%. So I'm testing, I'm training, I'm looking at only 15 records to train these. And then I'm looking at 135 to test. And I go through these same things. I'm still getting about 95% accuracy with a small number of them. And then my confusion matrix looks like that. And that's really interesting, because on that one, I actually did better on that particular category. Or the versicolor was 100% there. So it's kind of interesting, the different phenomenon that happen when you do that. But that is because I changed this, it gave me a completely different set of random data, which happened to just be better suited for training that particular model on that species of flower. So machine learning is really interesting. And this is a small set of data. Can you imagine doing this with Amazon user behavior or YouTube? Or, I mean, you could find out so many interesting things about so many different user behaviors. But this can be used to do things like predict which kind of fertilizer and watering combinations are better for certain kinds of crops in certain areas. Like, you think about all those factors, like, how do we know which is the best combination? But if we have the data, we can actually train a model, and it can actually say, this is what I think would be the best, based on the data, what would be the best combination. So it's very, very useful and out in the real world.